Hello, grade 9 students. In today's session, we will discuss the route of nutrients when they reach the small intestine. Which nutrients are taken by the blood and which ones are taken by the lymph? As we all know, the absorption is the intake or the passage of nutrients like glucose, amino acids, fatty acids, or even starch and many other nutrients into the blood or to the lymph. And as we all know that the absorption mainly occurs in the small intestine with the help of the villi that we discussed or that we talked about last time. Some of the nutrients like glucose, amino acids, water, and mineral salts, they pass into the blood through the thin wall of the small intestine as this document shows. Here we have the food in the small intestine or the nutrients after they are been digested. So they are going now, as you see in the second picture or document, they are going to be crossing the thin wall of the small intestine to reach the bloodstream. So now these nutrients are absorbed by the blood. But the fatty acids and the glycerol, which come out of the lipids, they are going to be absorbed by or they are going to pass into the lymph. And this is going to be done with the help of the villi, which are surrounded with lymphatic vessels. So these lymphatic vessels surrounding the villi are going to facilitate their absorption into the lymph. So in conclusion, absorption occurs in the small intestine. Glucose, amino acids, and many other nutrients pass into the blood vessels, while lipids pass into the lymph. Here we have an interactive practice. As you can see here, we have a table of two nutrients, glucose and amino acids, and the quantity of nutrients in the blood before and after the meal. Okay, the first question asks you to compare the quantity of nutrients in the blood before and after a meal, and the second question asks you to or why were the quantities different. So I want you now to pause the video for a few minutes, try to answer this question alone, then check your answers using the answer key that I will show a few seconds later. So here, as you can see, when we are asked to compare and we have numbers in the table, or even if we have a graph, whenever we have numbers to compare, we should use terms like a greater than, less than, or equal to. So let's just start comparing the glucose before a meal and after a meal. Here we will have the quantity of glucose before a meal was between 0.8 and 1 gram per liter, which is less than that after a meal, which was 1.5 to 2 gram per liter. But the quantity of the amino acids, as the table shows, before a meal is 0.40 grams per liter, which is also less than that after a meal, which is 0.7 gram per liter. So as we can see, the quantity of nutrients before the meal is less than after the meal in the blood. So why were the quantities different? Of course, the quantities were different, or the quantities increased in the blood after the meal because these nutrients were absorbed by the small intestine into the blood. So after absorption, the quantity of these nutrients in the blood will be more. Okay, guys, now I want you to watch this video more and more in order to understand it well. And please don't forget to solve the assignment followed in the board. Thank you. Have a nice day.